Welcome to the second section of this course. In this section, we are going to learn how we can make logo designs with Adobe Illustrator. But before getting into the part or before getting into our classes, we need to know about how the overview and interface of Adobe Illustrator looks like. So obviously we're going to learn about it because obviously we don't want a hassle during the whole thing and a bit of confusion. If you are new to Adobe Illustrator, then this class is just for you. Because if you are experienced to it, you will get along with our classes. But as this is a beginner friendly class, I'm also going to be showing you about the introduction to Adobe Illustrator. Make sure to always stay connected to the internet because most of the features that are available on Adobe Illustrator are now connected to the internet. And whenever you are working with any software of Adobe Inc., just make sure you are using the newest version available because it's going to contain a lot of bug fixes and a lot of new features through each and every update. So make sure not to skip any part because if you do, you might miss out on something very important and then face some problems later on. So without any further ado, let's hop onto our class by opening up Adobe Illustrator on our device. As you can see on my screen that I have opened up Adobe Illustrator. Now, you can basically see, or if you've seen my previous introduction to Adobe Photoshop, it kind of looks the same, but just a bit different. Now, what is different over here? It's because the presets are right over on the platform. Now, another thing which you have to keep in mind is that on Adobe Illustrator, we don't have any recent files. But if you do have recent files which you've worked on, those will also appear over here. But obviously, this part of opening up any preset is going to be here all the time on Adobe Illustrator. It just saves up a lot more time than getting into new file and then selecting on the preset. But there's going to be very common ones over here, but you can click on more preset and open them up. Now you can go off to show suggestions and you can see the suggestions, which new features are available with text, and then we have generate graphics with the prompt too. Now let's start off. When you open up Adobe Illustrator, you will basically open up on the Home tab or the Home section. From here, you will basically see the recently worked files, and also it will allow you to click on or select on the preset which you want to start working with. On the Learn section, you'll be able to see these type of other sections or other options to open up in Adobe Illustrator as a class or as a tutorial. Let's say tour of the app, discover how Illustrator artwork is unique, jump into color, and a lot of these tutorials which you can open up directly onto the platform of Adobe Illustrator. You can also click on View All to see all of the ones or all of the exercises which Adobe Illustrator gives you hands-on tutorials. Then on the bottom, we have Your Files. On Your Files, you can basically see we have this folder on Adobe Illustrator too. But this is not what I opened up on Adobe Illustrator. This is what I opened up on Adobe Photoshop. But as this is connected to the cloud drive, so this is synced up together, okay? But you'll also be able to make new folders from this section. You can change up the viewing format and you can filter them up just the way you want to. We also have the same section shared with you. If you have any shared files with you to your cloud or forward it to your file or forward it to your account, all of those will appear over here. And you can also share it to people and that person will also have it on this section. Then we have is the deleted section. Here you will have the deleted files. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is that obviously you'll be able to change up the format of view, but if you have anything or any resources that are here on the deleted folder for more than 30 days or for 30 days, you have to keep in mind the next day it will be removed because anything that is on this deleted folder will be removed after 30 days. And that's how it works. Now let's go off to Home. You'll be able to select up any of these presets and it will open up the workspace for you. Just wait for a bit and then you will basically see the workspace has appeared. And obviously you will be able to close them up anytime. Just click on this and it will take you back to the home tab. If you want more presets, just click on more preset and you will basically see the same type of interface or same type of platform just as it was on Adobe Photoshop. Let's just close it and let's just click on open. Let's open up the web browser again and get ourselves a resource. Let's go up to pixels.com and I'm obviously going to be using this photo. So I have downloaded this photo, and try not using any videos on Adobe Illustrator because it cannot read sometimes. So click on open, go off to download, and there we go. Let's open it up. And there we go. This is how it will look like. You can zoom in and out, but I'm going to show you everything about the interface after we are done, or I've shown you most of the things about the interface. Okay. If you want to open up a new file, just click on new file. And basically, this is how it will appear. From here, you will be able to see the recently worked ones. You can also see the saved ones. There are nothing saved. You can go off the mobile section. You can view all presets. And there are also templates which you'll be able to use, which will help you to save a lot of time and labor. You can go off the web, click on presets, and there are also presets or templates over here. Print, all presets, and templates. Film and video, templates and presets, art and illustration, you can also see them, and also free templates that are going to be free to use. And obviously on Adobe Stock, not all the things are free, so you have to keep that thing in mind. And you can download whichever one you want. Let's say if you want to download any one of them, just click on any one of them and just press on download. It will take a bit of time, and you can see Adobe Stock has opened up. You just have to stay connected to the internet and wait for a bit until it loads up on your device. There we go. It has been downloaded, and you'll be able to open them up anytime you want. You can also see a preview of each and every one of these templates. Just click on see preview, and this is basically how it will look. Not only this, you'll be able to open up different ones. So click on see preview, and this is how it looks. Okay, click on this, see preview. This is how it will look like. You can click on download. It will just, take a bit of time to download them up on your device, but you just have to make sure that you are connected to the internet, you are connected to your account, and you have the subscription to Adobe. Okay, and just try using the newest version of Adobe, whichever software you are using. Okay, there we go. This is downloading, and that one has already been downloaded, and you will be able to open them up anytime you want. Okay. If you want to search for any templates on Adobe Stock, you can search it directly from here. You don't have to go off to any web browser and open it up. So that is how simple it is through each and every update on Adobe Photoshop or any Adobe account. And try using Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop 2024, which is the latest version available right now. You will get all of these features over here. Let's go off the print and select up any of the presets which I want to work with on this class. If I want to work with A4, I'm going to click on that, and all of the customizations will be available over here. We can see the width, you can see the height. Now, if I want to change the pie cast, this is how it's going to be. If I want to change the feet, this is the number, or this is the amount of range. If I keep it on pixels, this is the number of pixels which is going to need to make this specific A4 size. And obviously you will be able to name it up to, let's say I'm going to put it new. Okay, so there we go. We have new. You can fix in the width and height if you want to customize it. Obviously you'll be able to customize it the way you want to. Let's say maybe I want to put something like this. This is how it will work. But if I just keep it on like this, there we go. We have customized it and kept it just the way it needs to be. You can fix in the orientation if you want landscape or portrait, and you can also just swatch them up anytime you want. And you can fix in the number of artboards which you want on your platform. If you want one, you can also keep it one. If you want two, you can also keep it two. How are you going to understand that? Let's just go off to new files. Let's just open up print. If I click on any one of them, click on see preview, you can see this one. This is basically one page or one artboard. This is the second one, and this is the third one, fourth one, and so on. So this is basically the number of artboards which you want to work with. So I'm going to click on A4, So I'm going to just keep it 1 for this class because obviously we don't need a lot more of them, but you can keep it 2 if you want to. Then you can fix out the bleeds if you want to. You can fix it up. You can also link them and unlink it so you can customize it on each and every corner. On the advanced option, you'll be able to fix out which color mode you want to work with. It could either be CMYK, RGB, okay? So if you are using Adobe Illustrator and you want the best color and best shades out of everything, then I would suggest you just try using CMYK because it allows you to use rasterized and also use color corrected photos with the best color density. Okay. But when you use RGB, it's just going to be using those 3 color wavelength and going to be customizing it and adjusting itself. And most of the things when you are working with Adobe Illustrator, you have to upscale it. So when you upscale it, it might not be the same. So just try using CMYK because I would suggest you, and that would you will just get the best results out of it instead of RGB. Because in a lot of cases, you have to just revert it back to CMYK again, even when you're working with RGB. Then we have the raster effect. It's also going to depend onto your device. If you have a low-end device, just try using 36 ppi or 72 ppi. You can also use medium if you want to. But if you have a medium-end device or a high-end device, you can just go for basically anything. But even on medium, I would just try using medium, which I mostly do. And it also gives you the best professional type of results. And if you want higher density, you can also do that. Okay. I'm going to keep it on 150 ppi and the preview mode should be on default. If you want on pixels, you can also keep it on pixels, but I just try keeping it on default because when I am upscaling it on pixels, sometimes I see a bit of rough edges. And when I use overprints, it just upscales it sometimes, okay? So I just keep it on default. It just adjusts itself to how it needs to be on the best situation, okay? And you can also see on more settings, you'll be able to customize it just the way you want to. And after you're done, you can also open up like templates if you want to, but I'm going to like click on this cancel. I'm going to put on new. Okay. And then press on create. And then I'm going to wait for a bit until this platform opens up. And you can see we have 2 pages. This is art page 1 or artboard 1. And this is artboard 2. Now, just like Adobe Photoshop, the first thing what you have to do is fix in your workspace. Go off to Windows, click on Workspaces, and click on Essentials Classic. It will allow you to see most of the tools which is important onto your workspace. You can also reset it up anytime you want. Just go off the Workspace, Essentials Classic, and this is how it will look like. But the thing which I did are the one which was visible. I customized it the way I want it to look like. Okay. Now let's get into the interface of Adobe Illustrator. First thing is that on the left side over here, we have is the toolbar. The toolbar is going to contain all of the tools of Adobe Illustrator. From here, you can see on these toolbars, there is a corner bump. That means that there are more tools inside of it. So I'll be able to use that tool. If I click on this, I'll also be able to use that tool. But if I right click on this one, I'll be able to use group. So there are 2 tools over here. And if you click on them, there are more. Okay, you can see more tools. But the ones which doesn't have the bump, you will not be able to open them up. Dimension is kind of new. You can also see how this works. Okay. Them all like step by step. Okay. After all of these tools, you can see that you'll be able to them and expand them anytime. It's the color palette. Colors according to your need. If you need black or if you need them up anytime you want. Select on white, and if I keep it on blue, I'll be able to use 2 of these colors, right? What if I want to get back to black and white very fast without this and then changing the color? What you basically do is select on this button over here. You'll be able to swap up these colors. Button. It just basically selects the default and it will just get back to black and white. Okay, so it just saves up a lot of time. Color mode, then we have the gradient mode, and then we have is the no fill mode. Okay, So make sure to select this up when you are working on anything or when you're making anything, because it's going to depend on what type of color you want to put. If you want to put in gradient, outlay, or gradient color formats, it will have the gradient options. If you want to use fill color, just keep it on over here. And if you want like just select on this. Then we have is the mask mode. So we have draw normal, we have draw behind, and then we also have draw inside to make up shapes inside and outside of any shape, overlay it, or maybe even beneath it. As this Adobe Illustrator is an graphic manipulation software, so it's going to just give you all which actually help you to boost up the time of your work and just makes it a bit more comfortable with it. Okay, and a couple of viewing modes. Select on this, you can change into screen mode with menu bar, and it can also go off directly into presentation mode. Get out of it, just press on escape, and it will just take you off to the first one. Okay, so basically we are done with this part, and the bottom we have a toolbar. You'll be able to customize your toolbar according to your need. You can also select up which type of viewing format you want. You can also select this up and you will be able to select on advanced or basic, and you can also make new toolbars and manage them up at the same time. Same way as Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator also works on the tabular form. If you want to open up another, let's say, or another project, you can just go off the file. Let's say I'm going to open up another thing. Open. I'm going to open up this one and it will just open up on another tabs. It just helps you to fiddle through each and every one of these workspaces. Okay. So now you can see that this is how advanced, like from updates to updates. On like 2019 or 2016, you will basically see it is not the same one of these projects at the same time. Okay. So as I've already, let's just zoom out, or we can also close it off anytime. We can just press on no and it will be removed. But the one which is all behind or which I already opened up at the beginning is still available. Okay. So first thing, what I'm going to do now is that we're going to go off the right side. So on the right side, we have our windows. Now you might think that why are these called windows? So one thing, what I'm going to show you over here is that let's say I'm going to go off the libraries, which I also did on my Photoshop, but it also works the same way over here. Over here and you accidentally close it, how are you going to get it back? You will not find it over here. But if you go off to Windows, if you just click on the one which you've removed, let's say libraries, click on that and that one is back. And you're able to take it out and use it anywhere you want it to be. You can also make other sections for it. You can also take it. You can also like go off over here libraries and take it to where it was. Okay. You'll also be able to to your desired size. You can also collapse it and extend it however you need. Okay. It's going to be working like, I'm going to go off the properties now, and you will also be able to, extend it, collapse these ones too. More of these stacks according to your need. Okay. And obviously you can just take up the whole group and take it out. You can see the whole group will be able to take and keep it right over here. Okay. So this is how the windows work in Adobe Illustrator and also on. As we're done with this, now the one which we see over here are basically called the properties panel or the properties section. Now this is not going to be the same on like most of the time or all of the time. It's going to depend on which tool you have selected. On pencil, you'll basically see now it will change. It will be based on text. It's going to show you alignments too. This, it will also be a bit different. If I click on this, it will be a bit more different. Okay. So it's just going to depend on which tool you have. This is gradient. If I click on this is how it's going to be looking like. If I select on this is how it's going to be looking like. Okay. So it's just going to change a tool you have selected and which one you are going to use. On the top part, we have our basic ribbons. up with the first one, but we also have this home button, which allows you to go back to the home tab or the home section of Adobe Illustrator more anytime you want. But if you click on this back button, it will take you back into the working interface. Okay. So on the file ribbon, we have new, open, close, save as, version history, save as template, Adobe stock, place, export, package script, document setup, document color mode, file info, print, exit, and all of them. Now, one thing which you have is that about opening up a new tab or opening up a new, let's say, tab. Okay, let's just open up a new project, click on new. The same type of interface which you see on the home section will appear over here. Let's say I want another A4. I'm going to press on create another document or another project for me. And I will be also just able to cut them out anytime I want. Okay. Now, edits, you'll basically see cut, copy, paste. And we have paste on all our boards, paste without formatting, clear, find, replace, spelling, dictionary, original, print presets, PDF preset, color settings, assign profile, keyboard shortcuts, my settings, preferences, paint style over here. And after I'm done with all of these ribbons, I'm going to show you about your settings or my settings and also the preferences, which you have to follow up, customize so that you get the best output and the best optimization out of Adobe Illustrator. On the object section, basically is transform, align, distribute, arrange, group, ungroup, lock, unlock, hide, show, expand, rasterize, create, gradient. Then we also have a couple of paths like make pixel perfect, slice, path, shape, pattern, repeat, blend, and a lot of them. Path, artboards, graph, click for export, and all of them. Okay. On the type platform or the type ribbon, we will basically find most of the commands to typography, such as fonts, recent fonts, size, glyphs, type conversion, fit headline, find, retype, bullets and numbers, special characters, break characters, hidden characters, and all of them. Okay. On the select ribbon, out all of the selection type of commands, such as, deselect, reselect, inverse, below, same, object, global edit, save selection, edit selection, and all of them. On the effect ribbon, you'll basically find out, the filters, which you will find out on Adobe Photoshop, and also about a couple of Illustrator effects, which are going to be based on shape. Okay. So you have to keep that thing in mind that Photoshop is a whole different thing. It works on with images, and Illustrator effects are mostly based on shapes. So you'll be able to apply those filters on your shapes and rasterize effects. Okay. Then on the viewing section or the viewing ribbon, you'll basically find out as you can also go down. Okay. So basically there's like a lot of these commands such as outline, preview, CPU, over print view, presentation mode, screen mode, proof setups, proof color, zoom in and out, rotation, slices, size. Then we also have like guides, edges. We also have perspective grids, rulers. We have snaps. All of them will be over here on view. It's basically just going to just customize the way your workspace looks like. Okay. So all of those commands or all of those settings will be over here on view. On the ribbon, basically you'll be able to customize your windows. But one of the most important thing over here is that obviously you'll be able to change your workspace according to what you're doing. If you want to do just only typography, just click on typography and all of the typing type of commands or tools will be available over and also with the windows. Okay. But I most of the time just try using Essentials Classic because it just allows me to use Adobe at ease and whatever type of things I do, I just don't feel any problem with it. Okay. But obviously, if you feel like this is, or if you feel like it's an hassle, obviously just customize it the way you want to because I have my own tools which I use most of the time over here and over here. It is just not like that's, problematic for me. But if you want any other ones or other windows, just click on the one. Let's say maybe I want a whole different window just for alignment. Click on that, and there we go. We have alignments. I'm gonna take it over here directly in form over here. There we go. We have 3 of them now. Okay. So this is how it works. And the last one which we have is help. If you want to get from Adobe Illustrator or from directly Adobe, you can select on this Illustrator help, tutorials, and all of those bug like info and all of that. And if you want to check on updates, just click on that. It will just take you directly to Creative Cloud desktop. And from there, you'll be able to see if it's available or not. Okay, it just allows you to use it and also see what type of updates are available. Now, let's move on to you can go off and export your settings and also import your settings so that it also takes up whatever settings you have applied on your preferences. So let's go off the preferences. The first thing, let's go off the general. It will open up all of those. You don't have to worry about it. Now over here on general, what you're going to do, precise cursor always turned on because it's going to give you the smooth, fluid, and also that optimized feeling. Okay. But if you don't have it turned on for a bit and it might not look like, it's optimized. Okay. It's just not good to the eye. Okay. Then we have this anchor display. Keep it all default. Any of these. Then let's move on to one of the most important thing about is devices and performance. Always turn on GPU performance and animation. But if you want no zoom or no animation, you can also turn it off. And one thing what will happen if you don't have animated zoom is that it will just snap direct. Keep it turned on. And if I just zoom in, if I press on Alt, you basically see this is how it will look like. Okay. But if you have is going to be going off to edits, go off to preferences, go off to general. If I go off to performance and if I have animated zoom, it's going to be a lot more fluid, lots more frames inside of it. Okay. So to keep it turned on is going to make it look a lot more better. And I just prefer like keeping it turned on allows me to see which pixels I'm missing, which place am I zooming into. Okay. So keep it turned on most of the time. Let's go off the general like performance. You can check out your GPU details, history states 100, and obviously turn on real-time drawing and editing because obviously if you just drawing something but it is like getting delayed, you're not going to get like you're not going to feel any better. It's just going to feel like it's stuttering. So keep this turned on most of the time, but if you have a low-end device, you can turn it off and check it out if it's optimized, okay? Then on user interface, if you want to customize your interface the way it looks like, you can also turn it on and off. You can see this is how it looks like. You can turn it black, you can turn it a bit of gray, white. But I just most of the time keep it on this color, but I'm gonna try this dark over here too. Canvas color should match the brightness and also keep to, and we have as a share button over here. We can keep it blue or, whichever color you want. Okay. I'm going to keep it blue and then turned off auto collapse iconic panels and keep both of them turned on and scroll button at two ends. Okay. Not together. Then we have is hyphen. Go check out which language you want to use. Smart guides. You can also like customize your guides, which color it should be. If it should be cyan, you can change prefer. Okay. So basically, this is how it works. And you can also change up the unit of measurement for your local area or your local region. Most of the time, people like don't like using points, pikas, and all of those. But it just basically depends on which region you are using it in. Want to internationalize it, you can keep it on pixels or maybe inches or maybe feet, whichever one you prefer, so that it's going to show you about that when you are working with it. Okay. And keep it object name, not XML ID, because when you use XML ID, you will not be able to differentiate and you will not be that easily. Okay. So basically, this is how it works. You can also change up the like which type of black you want. You can see which devices your device. Okay, so basically this is it, what you basically have to do. And one thing what you're going to do is check out all of these options over here and keep it. And you can also see the zoom with mouse wheel, but I just don't like using zoom with mouse wheel. But if you want to, you can also do that. I just don't like for mouse wheel is that if I want to go up and down, what you basically have to do is when you turn it on, you have to use your arrow keys on your keyboard. For that, I just try using like I just keep it turned off. And you can also see scale strokes and effect. You can turn them on and off if you want to. And obviously option over here, force enable pinch to zoom on touchpad. If you have a touchpad, then I would just suggest you that turn it on. But if you like using your mouse or if you already have a mouse which you use, if you're on your laptop and still use your mouse, then I would just suggest you keep it turned on. But if you do not have a mouse or if you don't like using a mouse, then I would suggest you not to do this. Okay. So this is basically all it, and hope you and after you're done, just press on OK. And if you want to reset your preferences, you can do that too. And basically that's it, okay? Now on the right part, it just allows you to share your document. And over here, we also have arrange document in what type of format you want. And over here, we have is the switch. So basically, this is how easy it is on Adobe Illustrator and about its interface and workspace. And hope everything in this class. And at the bottom and on the right, we have our rulers, which will be able to help you to navigate through it. Left and right and top and bottom is that if you just use your scroll key, you can see, just like I said, it just goes up and down. But if you press on control, it's just going to go left and right. If you press on alt, it's zoom in and out. But if you hold on a shift, it's going to go up and down like this. Okay. So now you know about the navigation too. You can also use your, navigate it, go wherever you want and place it up. Okay. So thank you for watching this video up till the very end and in my next lesson.